Hello everybody. So we had our first snowstorm of the season. It is bitterly cold, and I'm using this opportunity to bring you this video about what I don't like about this 2020 Ford Fusion Hybrid. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm trying to prepare it for Monday. So today is a Saturday, and on Monday, right, I'll have to go to work. I don't really have to be anywhere on the weekend, so I'm trying to defrost it, and we had a combination of snow and ice. Not a lot, compared to what some of the other places in the country got, as you can kind of see there. But it was a weird combo of it started raining, then it started snowing, and then it became really cold. So we went from like having 33, 34 to like today, it's like, barely like 15. So while this thing warms up, as you can kind of see, there's some kids over there carrying sleds. So our first winter storm of the season, and this is my first winter with this 2020 Fusion Hybrid. So while it kind of de-ices itself, here's a few things that I don't like about it. And you guys may share the sentiment, you may not. Up to you. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. Number one, I have no emotional connection to this vehicle. When I would come out and, it said town car was waiting for me, even though, it was in much worse shape than this car is and much older. Somehow I had an emotional connection. Like I wanted to be there, and I wanted to drive it, and I wanted to take care of it when it's broken. This car, I hope it doesn't have feelings. I really do. It's an appliance. I like it for what it is. I don't like... I'm not disgusted by it or anything, but I am indifferent. Only because I'm in the cars that are, boats, yachts, whatever the case might be. And this car, it gets me there, gets me back. I owned it for about a month and a half at this point. And I'm gonna come inside because it's getting really cold. So I have no connection to this vehicle on the emotional level. Oh God. Whew. Let's see. It is 20 degrees. There you go. Whew. There's another thing I'm going to tell you about it. So 20 degrees. It was 36 degrees yesterday. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm jumping, my brain is freezing. So no emotional connection. When the time comes to replace it, I will not be super sad. I promise you that. Which brings me to the next point. The weird situation with this car as it comes to remote start and warming it up, right? So it has a remote start. There you go. It automatically... Oh, well, wait a minute. Okay, so something's stuck on there. God bless it. I used it today. But the thing is, because it is a hybrid, right, it's designed to maximize the fuel economy. Which obviously in the wintertime, it dropped significantly. In the wintertime, it's going to be less because the gasoline engine will run more. And the weird thing about this car is that when it's on a remote start, like on a cold day like today, it will start in a gasoline engine like a normal car would, but then it shuts itself off. So here is my question. Like, as you can kind of see the temperature right here, I don't know what kind of, logic this thing has, but as you can see, it's relatively cold. It's still, it's barely above the little line, right? So it's not in the middle. And by the way, this is the only place how you can get the temperature gauge to even show up. Okay, so you see, it cycles on and off, on and off, on and off, where on a normal day, it would be fine, right? That's what it's designed to do. But when the car is cold, and when you're running a remote start, wouldn't it make sense to keep the gasoline engine running for the full 15 minutes that the remote start is set at? But no, this thing, it shuts itself off I mean, it starts on the gasoline side. Then it shuts itself off. It just sits there in a battery. Where in the middle of all this, like, I need the windshield to be cleared up. I need the heat, and I'm only guessing that the heat is coming from the gasoline engine, unless it's some sort of an electric heat, which I doubt. So anyway, yeah, like, it will sit there. It will shut itself off. In the meantime, the time is ticking for the 15 minutes. And I'm only guessing that when it gets colder, which it will, we're expecting a really big cold blast to come in. So much colder than the 20 degrees that's right now. So I don't know how it's programmed. Now, maybe if I undo this eco button right there, maybe that'll keep the gasoline engine on for longer. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. But the heat itself, I would hope that it maximizes the gasoline engine, and I don't care. Okay, so even if it drops to 20 miles a gallon, I'm still making ahead, but I would rather have the heat than to have a better gas mileage, especially when it's just sitting there. So who cares about the gas mileage? So that's one thing. All right, I'm gonna come out for the next one just to show you these windshield wipers. All right, I had to put the gloves on. All right, it's gonna honk at me for a second because I'm gonna keep it running, but the keys are in my pocket, right? All right, these windshield wipers. So this is the first car that I ever owned that I cannot get the cheap, $3 per blade windshield wipers. This car is designed to run this type of a connection, which I know it's kind of frozen right now. But it's not like the standard J-hook anymore. It's these clippity things where to get rid of the wiper, I need to, I can't do it with gloves. I need to squeeze both ends, and then it kind of slides out this whole assembly. And obviously it's the same on both sides. And I guess I need to clear this wiper. These wiper blades, I got them at Walmart. So I replaced it when I got the car. I think the previous driver of this car really didn't care. Yeah, so these wiper blades, I think they were like 14, 15 bucks a pop. I don't remember per se, because I didn't pay attention to them at first, but when I was looking at the catalog, in Walmart, I was like, okay, well, I was concerned more with the size than anything else. So I looked. I'm like, oh, okay, just get. When it comes to wipers, I would rather replace them more often than to get like the $25, $30 per wiper blade. That's just me. Please don't judge me too harshly on that. But then in the book, it had like a strike through where it had like the economy brand, whatever. So I was like, okay, that's odd. And I didn't pay attention to these because I never thought that the cars were no longer designed with the standard J-hook. This one is. So I have no option now. If I buy the cheapo wipers, I know there's some adapters you can buy to make these work, but it's beyond my skill set, I'll be honest with you. So I would rather just buy the wipers that these things are designed with. And I'm not sure why they did this. Is it because this is a special car and it has the automatic windshield wiper feature? So I don't know like what the logic is. It's not a super premium vehicle, so why would it have a super premium the wiper blades requirement? I don't know. So there you go. That's a weird thing that I just do not like. I would like to have my cheapo wipers. Thank you very much. All right, the other thing. This car has this keypad, which I loved. I'm gonna make another video about that. But what it doesn't, and it has the push button start. But what this particular car doesn't have, and you see that? I have a freaking solid block of ice that I can't show you. But anyway, on the more luxury version of this car, the platinum or the titanium, I forgot. I know they ran both names depending on the year. I think it's the titanium, the one that they ended with. They have the smart key, which the proximity. There you go, the proximity key, where you would approach it, you pull on the door handle, you would get in here, and then you would push the button. On this one, this being the base SE model, they have the push button, which obviously senses the key. If the key wasn't in my pocket, I would, I wouldn't be able to start it. So they cheaped out. I understand that they wanted you to step up to the next one, but for the love of God, if you're gonna give me the push button start, you already have the technology built into this vehicle to sense the key. So give me the stupid sensor on the door handle as a standard option. Especially since you're giving me the auto wipers. You are giving me the lane keep assist. You're giving me the smart Distronic cruise control and the mirror that automatically dims. And you are giving me the navigation system and the auto climate control and the dual climate control. So you're giving, and who asked for this feature? The hill descent, right? So you're giving me all these nice features. I'm not complaining that it has it, but you know what? Honestly, I would rather not have the lane keep assist and give me the smart thing. Now, I use the keypad all the time, and I used it on my town car before. Where you know, I don't know, I find it very useful, and I find new ways of using it. But yeah, somehow they did not want to give me, on a base model car, the proximity key feature on the outside. Oh, look, Amazon still delivers in this weather. So, all right, well, the next feature, I think you all guys know what it is. And no, it's not the glove box. It's what's hiding behind the glove box. It's the interior microfilter, whatever, the interior filtration thing. I made a video about it. It's hell to change. It really is. It requires you to disassemble parts of your vehicle, like literally take 2 panels out. And actually, if you count the glove box itself, it's 3 panels. And they didn't make it easy. I mean, you know, watch that video if you're curious what it is, or if you own one of these vehicles and you never even change it. It's like really, like you really couldn't figure out a way how to make it easier for the end user to change his own filter or her own filter. You have to like disassemble the car, and you don't even put the instructions how to do it in the manual. You say, see your authorized dealership. That's cheap. That is weird design. It's bad engineering. It forces the customer to watch YouTube videos, which I understand. YouTube videos exist, and people do it and they figure it out. That's how I figured it out. And the only reason why I made the video, more of an exploration more than anything else. But for people who either don't watch YouTube, which I'm sure there's some, or they just want to look at the manual, like, you know, like normal people, especially when you put in the manual how to change the one underneath the hood, right, for the air, for the engine. Why can't you make it very easy with perfect access right through that back wall, right here on the top shelf? Make a little access door, right? Which the Camry did. I remember having it on a Toyota Camry 2007 that I owned. Yeah, a little access door. You pop that open. It has the little thing on the behind it, and pull the filter out. But yeah, here, this is ridiculous. Seriously. Oh, he's even driving with the door open. Yeah, so that I don't understand, and I don't like it. I mean, it's hell. I'm not looking forward to the next time. The next thing I don't like is the lag. The lag here. Now, I like the system as a whole, but when you first get into the car, a few things happen. Number one, the first 30 seconds, you get the load screen. All right? Then, it takes a long time for it to download your contacts from the phone, right? So I have the phone connected, and you can kind of see when you first click into it, yeah, you see like it, there's a delay. Now, it's not a super duper, whoa, but like you kind of saw like how it shifts. And when you do it first, then it's kind of fast. But when you first get into the car and when you first started, it takes a while. Also, it seems like it's re-downloading the phone book contact list every single time, so it doesn't like store. Even though you do have, yeah, you do have the phones right here saved, but somehow it doesn't save. So when you first get into the car, all right, you got to take about 30 seconds for this thing to load. You have a Ford logo. Then I noticed, right, because it has this nice display right here on the right where you can control it. And I call people, right? Like you get in the car, you need to make a phone call right away. So you go in here and it will show, which I can't demonstrate right now unless I shut the car off, which I'd rather not. I want all this thing to melt as much as I can. and you read down, basically you start calling from here and it tells you no numbers available. You go in a recent call list and it says downloading. So you can't really get into the car and call people like probably the first minute and a half. Now, I already hear myself saying, well, Vitaly, you're nitpicking. But look, this is a 2020 vehicle. It has all these features. Why can't you have a feature that automatically, you know, you use the same phone, so why does it have to keep re-downloading it every single time, the contact list? I understand it needs to run a quick check just to make sure that, you know, maybe a new number wasn't added or deleted or whatnot. But it's like this, in the world of modern technology, you should be able to very quickly get into the car, start it, make a phone call if you have to, not wait, and especially when, right now it's nice and fast. But when you first get in, it is laggy. And I remember even, you know, the previous system before that was even worse. And it got a lot of flack when the cars, you know, with this system came out. Now, it's okay. It's doable. It's manageable. It's relatively responsive. I like the fact that it has the nav system. So, there you go. So, there's that. One other thing I don't like about this car, it doesn't have heated mirrors. And I didn't think about it until just now. Lincoln Town Car that I had heated mirrors and they worked great. This one, no heated mirrors, so I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Scrape them off. All right, guys. Well, okay. The last part right here. Look, right there. You got hard touch points right here and hard touch points right here. Now, this compartment for me, by the way, I do have my seat all the way back. And I don't know, I didn't notice it until I, you know, started driving this car. I think it's more narrow, like, you know, for me, for my, here, let's see if I can zoom out. There you go. And sorry, the gloves, I guess I could take them off at this point. The Town Car, right, didn't have this. It had the bench seat. So I guess I like to spread my legs a lot. I didn't realize that until now. And I didn't realize that in, you know, this is the first car when I sometimes find myself tucking my knee in here, right in here. Only because I guess I got used to having a wider place to spread my legs, particularly my knees. But here, the problem is right there, you have really hard plastic. Right here, you have the soft stuff. So what I don't like is the fact that they stop right here. If they could have extended this softer rubberized thing, focus, through here, like if they could have made this, it would have been way more comfy. So what I end up doing is this one, I try to keep myself focused on just keeping it straight so it doesn't have to hit this. And this one, you know, on the dead pedal right here, I don't know, this is just not comfy for me. So I like to sometimes tuck it in here, which this is still hard, but it gives me an extra inch or two. But yeah, I end up doing this a lot. And I've been driving it for a month and a half, and I can't seem to get myself situated in this cabin. You know, and here's another thing, I guess. They got you this shifter to save space, but what are you saving? What exactly are you saving here? You have the cup holders. Had it been the normal shifter, which honestly I guess might as well include this thing in the fact that I don't like it, should have been the normal stick right here instead of this. You got a lot of dead space right here. There's no need for this thing to be so freaking huge with a huge space in between. So, and then these buttons, I understand they use these buttons for other things in other models that are not hybrid, like the sport mode and in the other one. There's some other features that I'm sure they had for these buttons, but there's no need for this space-saving shifter at the same time where they didn't really save a whole lot of space. So there you go, guys. So again, nothing that I said about this car is critical. It's very usable. It is very nice. It drives well for the car that it is, right? It's not a town car. So I'm not going to say, whoa, sorry about that. I'm not going to say, well, the one thing that I don't like is the fact that it, you know, it doesn't drive like a town car. Yeah, no car will drive like a town car. See, all my neighbors are getting ready. So, yeah, I'm just going to move this thing out of the way. Here, we're gonna go this way just to get some of the, maybe some of the snow off. All right. See, everybody's bracing. And by the way, we're gonna, oh crap. Well, all right, we're not going very far, so I'm just gonna go through. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say like I don't like the way it drives because it drives like a modern car. Yeah, everything is sporty these days. This car is more sporty. Oh, look at that pile of snow right there. So that doesn't count, and that would be unfair for me to say, well, I don't like it. Yeah, I knew that no other car would, like, you know, like a Cadillac DeVille or like a town car would. So that's an unfair. But yeah, I mean, I got used to it. Oh, sorry. Getting phone call. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna park right there. So, all right. So there you go, guys. Stuff that I don't like about this car. All right. There you go. Got a missed call. All right. Ending this, I'm going to make a video what I do like about this car. And what I do like about this car is quite a lot. So, see you later.